Every date has a story. Most people never hear theirs. I am Harvey. And this is yours. Picture a Tuesday night in Memphis, Tennessee. July 5th, 1954. A 19-year-old kid walks into a small recording studio. No record deal, no manager, no plan. He is a truck driver who sometimes sings at local venues. He dreams about something bigger. He just cannot tell you what. By midnight, he will have accidentally invented rock and roll. That is July 5th for you. A date that does not announce itself. It just shows up, does something unforgettable, and lets the world figure out later how much everything just changed. Welcome to Harvey Explains. I am Harvey. Today we are talking about July 5th, a teenager who changed music forever, a tennis player who changed what was possible for an entire generation, and one of the greatest showmen America has ever produced. 3 stories, 1 date, let us go. Event 1, the night rock and roll was born, July 5, 1954. Sun Studio, Memphis, Tennessee, 706 Union Avenue, July 5th, 1954. Sam Phillips owned Sun Records. He had been searching for something he could not fully describe. He wanted an artist who could capture the raw energy of blues and R&B. He did not know he was about to find him. Elvis Presley had already come in once to record a birthday gift for his mother. Phillips noticed something in his voice. He brought him back with guitarist Scotty Moore and bassist Bill Black. Nothing was clicking. They tried ballads, nothing. They tried country, still nothing. And then, during a break, Elvis picked up his guitar and started goofing around. He launched into an old blues song called That's All Right, playing it loose, fast, almost silly. Scotty and Bill jumped in. The 3 of them were laughing. Sam Phillips stuck his head out of the booth. "What are you doing?" "Do that again." They did it 3 more times. By the end of the night, they had a recording. That's All Right debuted on Memphis radio 3 days later. The DJ played it 7 times in a single night because the phones would not stop ringing. People wanted to know who this was. They assumed it was a black artist. When they found out it was a white 19-year-old from Tupelo, Mississippi, nobody knew what to make of it. That was exactly the point. Elvis was too black for country radio, too country for R&B. He dressed like a rebel. He moved like nobody had ever moved on a stage before. He was something new. 2 years later, his Ed Sullivan Show appearance was watched by 60 million people, 1/3 of the entire United States population at the time. Now here is the what if. What if Sam Phillips had said, "Wrap it up, boys"? Elvis stays a truck driver. No Beatles, no Rolling Stones, no Michael Jackson. Because all of them said they heard Elvis first. All of them said he was the reason they picked up a guitar. The entire 20th century sounds different. All because one guy almost went home early. On July 5th, 1954. Event 2. The day one man changed what was possible. July 5, 1975. July 5th, 1975. Center Court, Wimbledon. The most prestigious tennis court on the planet. 2 men take the court for the final. Jimmy Connors, reigning champion, ranked number 1 in the world. 22 years old, a force of nature. He had won 99 of his last 103 matches. Everyone expected him to win. And then there was Arthur Ashe, 31 years old, black, soft-spoken. A man who grew up in Richmond, Virginia, when public tennis courts were still segregated. A man who practiced on the one court in Richmond, designated for black players. A man who knew from childhood that there were places tennis might take him, that the world had not yet decided to let him go. Nobody gave Ashe a chance. What happened next is one of the greatest upsets in tennis history. Ashe did not try to overpower Connors. Connors was younger, faster, hit harder. So Ashe did the opposite of what everyone expected. He slowed everything down. Soft shots when Connors wanted pace. Constant change of direction. He made Connors uncomfortable at every single turn. He won in 4 sets, 6-1, 6-1, 5-7, -6. Arthur Ashe became the first black man ever to win Wimbledon. He would be the only one for the next 47 years. Think about what that meant, not just as a sporting achievement. Think about every black kid who had ever been told certain courts were not for them, certain clubs were not for them, certain trophies were not for them. Ashe stepped onto the most famous court in the world and won it with brains, composure, and complete mastery of his own game. He later said, "From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life." He died in 1993, at the age of 49, from AIDS-related complications. He was not given enough time, but he used every single minute of the time he had. What if Ashe had lost that day? History would still have recorded his career as exceptional. But this moment, on this court, on this day, was different. It showed a generation that the doors that look closed are not always locked. Sometimes you just have to walk up and knock differently. Event 3. Born on this day, P.T. Barnum, July 5, 1810. July 5th, 1810, Bethel, Connecticut. A boy is born who will invent modern American hype. His name, P.T. Barnum. His legacy, complicated. He exhibited people with unusual appearances for profit. History judges him for it, and it should. But here is what Barnum understood before anyone else did. Americans do not just want to be informed. They want to feel amazed. They want to walk away saying, "I cannot believe what I just saw." He built the American Museum in New York City. 400,000 visitors a year, at a time when the entire city only had 300,000 people. He co-founded what became the greatest show on earth. He understood that if people were talking about him, people were coming. Every Super Bowl halftime show traces back to him. Every stadium concert, every Hollywood premiere, every spectacle designed to make your jaw drop. He may not have said there is a sucker born every minute, but he built an empire on the belief that people want to believe. The day after Independence Day, America got its first marketing genius. Happy birthday, P.T. The show is still going. And that brings us to the part I look forward to most. If today, July 5th, is your birthday, look at what this date holds. It holds the night a teenager goofing around in a recording studio accidentally changed the sound of the world. It holds the afternoon a man stepped onto the most famous court on the planet and proved that the limits other people set for you are just suggestions. Elvis did not plan to invent rock and roll. Arthur Ashe did not win Wimbledon by playing someone else's game. They both had one thing in common. They showed up fully as themselves, in a world that was not always ready for them. And they changed things anyway. So here is what I want you to sit with today. Somewhere in the world right now, someone is being born. We do not know their name. We do not know what they will go on to do. But history has shown us again and again that the people who change everything do not start out looking like they will. They start out as a truck driver with a guitar, a kid on a segregated court with a dream. What if the person being born today writes the song that defines the next generation? What if they walk into a room nobody has ever let them into before and win it completely? What if they look at something broken in this world and say, "Not on my watch"? And what if, stay with me here, that person is you, not the you of today, but the you of what is still possible. You matter more than you know. Happy birthday. If this gave you something, subscribe. Your birthday episode is waiting. I am Harvey. See you tomorrow.